They're so afraid and nervous. You remove that nervousness for them. You see they negotiate, they influence, they lead. In 1 year, their entire family changes. It's like they suddenly have time for people at home. So the idea is not just fixing limitations, but how does that new ability empower the person across the next year? And that's the science. And that's evolution, because what happens is when people have new capabilities, they have new opportunities in life. Our body has, like the nervous system, it has the immune system, it has the autonomous system, it has so many different systems that work together for the body to function. Now, what if there is a controller? There's an emergence from all these systems and a controller of these systems. What if there is an intelligence in you that controls all of your other systems, and we can influence that system? Wouldn't that be wonderful? Now, what I believe is we are doing that all the time. When from the time we are born, we form beliefs, we go through experiences, and because it's very interesting. A lot of times when you have friends, who go through a particular sickness and they go to a doctor, and a doctor says, "Oh, you have this and this and this," and you ask, "But how? Why did it come?" They say, "Probably stress." Probably lifestyle. And so what's the mechanism? Okay, someone is stressed, but what's the mechanism of how it's affecting the body? What is the mechanism when someone is sad and not happy that, suddenly a part of the body decides to attack themselves? I met a girl who, she was very young, and, when she went through a hard time and she was young, and she just, for just a moment, in that intensity, very strong, intense, sadness, just for a moment, she said, "I want to die." And she said that. She said that with such conviction, as if that's the only thing she wanted in the planet. And after 5 minutes, they made her laugh. They changed her mood. After 1 or 2 hours, she was normal. She even forgot about that entire thing. So now she's a happy girl. But a part of her intelligence took it very seriously. And she started developing what we call as autoimmune, which is your own body cell starts attacking itself. And she was going through all kinds of skin, challenges, and doctors couldn't stop. They couldn't do anything about it. And then we worked with her, and we spoke to her in conscious mind. We said, "Is there a useful intention for, attacking your own cells?" And I said, "Yes." I said, "Is that intention still relevant?" And it said no. And then we said, "Okay, now go back and cancel all the changes you made in that moment when you were vulnerable, and return each of those changes back to its optimal state." And there, her immune stopped. So thousands of such things. So when we are documenting this in the medical university and we're trying to do this research, we came up with the idea that there is an emergence system. An emergent system which is in charge of taking care of how the rest of the systems come together, how they coordinate, and how they function. And installations is the art of how do you influence this system. And Harini and I, we are like installation artists and evolution scientists, because we track, when you evolve someone, how does it change the trajectory? When you install capabilities, how do they evolve? We track this. We have over 2 million data points over the last 10 years. And, when you fix limitations, you start noticing on capabilities. Like the way I look at it is, if you're building a house and you go in and there's this leak and all of those things, you fix it, you clear the cobwebs. And then if you have time and the resources, you think about, can I build another floor? Can I take this wall off and make it into like a glass panel? Or can I build a pool that goes into the ocean? So you could build capabilities when you take off limitations. And so that's why people come the second and third and fourth time. They want new capabilities. But what is more interesting for Harini and me, and this is the science, of evolution is that we're not just interested in, okay, so what's the, it's magical to get over limitations. Oh, someone was angry for like 20 years and you got them just changed like that. Great. But what's it going to do for them over 10 years? What's it going to do for them in 2 years? Actually, this idea got triggered for me when I was sitting with an IAS officer. He's into some alternate therapy, and we were having dinner in Delhi, and we were sitting and we were having a conversation, and he said, Antano, I have a question. I said, okay. And he said, I take 1 year to help someone deal with a emotion and get choice to feel different. You hammer it in 10 minutes. So we both are doing the same. What's the real difference? And so I take all questions seriously. I don't find any question silly. And bless him, thanks to his heart, because if he didn't ask that question, I probably wouldn't have, been so articulate with you today, because I started thinking, what must be true for him to not get the idea that you have 1 full year with a new choice, and how does it change you? Because some people can't, they're so afraid and nervous. You remove that nervousness for them. You see they negotiate, they influence, they lead. In 1 year, their entire family changes. It's like they suddenly have time for people at home. So the idea is not just fixing limitations, but how does that new ability empower the person across the next year? And that's the science. And that's evolution. Because what happens is when people have new capabilities, they have new opportunities in life. Because, and a lot of people who come to UP and they say, we got a promotion and double promotion and our money is doubled, our salaries are doubled in like a year and a half. It's the same story every time. You go find out from them, how did that happen? Suddenly they became good at something more than what they were doing. And their boss and the boss's boss started noticing. And before giving them a promotion, would give them those responsibilities. And when they engage and do those responsibilities, they become a better person. They become more able. And when they become more able, now they're suddenly, there's a role for which people were waiting. They were trying to hire from outside. Oh, this person is now ready. Let's put him there. So I think, that's how evolution happens. There's capabilities. It leads to new life outcomes. New life outcomes gives you new experiences. Experiences that you would have had after 10 years start happening in your life now. And with experiences, you evolve. And that's how we time compress. So the real science of it is, how are you, what's the relationship between every capability, every set of capabilities, and how people evolve. And we like the idea that, excellence installations is learned by doctors and engineers and people who are in their profession and just adding more ability to themselves so that they can change trajectories around the world. And so from a lot of things that we've done in the past, some of the things that we have distilled is, I think for most people, if you could help them become better learners, better performers, and better leaders, I think, they're going to be more successful in life.
We never like to complete our video without giving you the opportunity to personally evolve and launch your legacy. Imagine for a moment, what would it feel like when you are impacting the world positively so much and enhancing your business, your health, your family, and legacy. All of this together simultaneously, continuing to grow leaps and bounds, fast and smoothly. If you've got the right motives, we believe Antano Harini will be able to help you launch your legacy in compressed time. Get excellence installation-based personal evolution and keep making a difference, starting with yourself.